Start off Tennessee, the first SEC game, and the return of Josh Heupel, the last quarterback to win a national championship for the Oklahoma Sooners. It's going to be a huge talking point for the entire game, the entire lead up to this game. It's going to be really amazing looking at this. I know I heard Bob Stoops kind of advocating for maybe some sort of return appreciation kind of night for Josh Heupel, whatever that means. I'm sure they'll show some sort of highlights from that 2001 national championship game. It's going to be an electric atmosphere, to say the least. First SEC game, and being surrounded by all of the hype with Josh Heupel coming back. This is a very pivotal game for the Sooners, and of course, the Volunteers want to win this game as well. So looking at this game, for the Sooners' sake anyways, the first ever SEC game as an SEC opponent. So you're going into your first conference game as an SEC team now. This is the first real test of the season, too. Like I said, you might have a little bit of fits with Houston and Tulane. You should be able to beat Temple just fine. You may have a little bit of question marks as of why you didn't perform as well against those teams. But overall, this is your first real test. I think we can all agree on that. I think we can all understand that. And Tennessee is going to be a very good team. How far has this defense really come? I think that's what we're going to see, because we know Josh Heupel is an offensive guy. He loves to lean on the run, and he loves to open up the pass game with that run game. So this is going to be very interesting. You're going to see both sides of the defense on this and how well they have really formed. I think when you look to last season and you see the strides that this defense made, I think we can be very confident that we have a chance to stand up even against a tough offense like Tennessee and everything that they bring. Things to watch out for Tennessee, I think, starting off, again, talking about Heupel, he is an offensive genius and utilizing that run game, opening up the passing game. So that's something that I'm worried about, and of course, interested to see how the defense responds. But Nico Iamaleava, I don't even know how to say his name properly. I knew I was going to butcher it. But Nico, that's what we're going to call him for probably the rest of the season, and probably for the rest of his career as well. He is a legitimate Heisman contender in many experts' eyes. I don't know. We only saw a small portion of him in the bowl game. I'm very excited to see him play. I think he's a very good contender. I don't know. He's very unproven. We don't have a whole lot of tape on him. That's kind of what I'm saying here. But I do believe that the run defense has shown strides, especially in the second level at the linebackers. But there's yet to be a breakout in the secondary. Of course, we've got Billy Bowman. We've got the return of Woody Washington. And there's some other guys back there that, of course, I think they're standouts. But there hasn't been that huge standout as a secondary as a whole. So that's definitely something that I'm a little bit worried about. Maybe not worried. I'm not worried that our secondary is going to come together, but I'm concerned. I'm wondering how well that's going to shape when we go into this season, especially with a team like Tennessee, who's going to use that run game to open up for Nico to really try to slash the defense with the passing game. So, I love the linebacker crew, Danny Stutzman and all those guys coming back. I think this is going to be a really big year. But what will that secondary do? Are we able to slow them down, both running the ball and passing the ball? This defensive line, this is another thing to look out for. This Tennessee defensive line, they were number 2 in the SEC last year with 41 sacks. You have to keep your young QB poised and clean in the pocket if you want to beat this Tennessee team. So I think this is going to be a very pivotal game for Oklahoma, and the reason why I say that is because it is your first SEC test, and it's at home. So that makes it a little bit easier on you. My hopes is that we hype up Josh Heupel so much and get him so flustered in his first game as a head coach in Norman that he doesn't know what to do with himself. I don't think that's the case. I think he's extremely poised. We knew that as Oklahoma fans back in 2001 when we saw everything that he was able to do. So going into this game, we're going to have to keep Jackson Arnold poised. We're going to have to keep him comfortable. I think those first 3 games gives us a lot of room to really work on a game plan, figure out what's working, figure out what's not, and work on that. And so, yeah, I think we have a chance against Tennessee, a very good chance. And I've even heard some Tennessee guys speaking out saying that they're worried about going into Norman, which is a really good thing to hear.